Okay, we're on. So I noticed from the list that there's you, there's Taylor Vella, Christine Nocelli, Kalichi, yes, I can't pronounce his surname, Tulsi, and so there's a bunch of you.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, and so I haven't invited them to this yet.
Okay.
So I am now, obviously. Okay, now it occurred to me that last semester when I ran this, I created an additional Moodle page called EDU540 additional.
Ah,
and
excellent.
it
How can I access that?
Well, that's the point. I'm going to share a screen with you now, and it's sharing now. So this is the interactive teaching module, group and individual, 40%, 2,500 word equivalent. Now, basically, Anita last semester is the only one who used this. It was set up for some others, and you can see there's a separate window for them. Now, I will amend this or have a new one rolled over for you, whichever works. We'll have to see.
Okay.
But if I could now stop sharing and go back to chatting and bring up this subject this semester, it probably won't work to add you to that one, so I will get this up very shortly. So going to 540 semester 2 and the assignment, which is the interactive teaching module, group and individual.
Yes.
Now, this is how my thinking went when I saw that assignment.
Yeah.
The wording starts working in TES online forum groups, and apparently TES stands for Times Educational Supplement. It was a newspaper from England years and years and years ago, and now it's become an online thing. I suggest to you that the TES online is a great resource for you as teachers. Please explore it. But I'm not saying that's what we should be doing here. I think this is what I think. I would like you to set up a teaching module for your real or hypothetical students. So just as I'm supposed to set up online resources for you, I would love you to use the same resources that the Moodle page has got to learn how to set up lessons, how to set up links, how to set up assignments, how to set up, they're called lessons.
Yep.
Digital lessons that the students, your students, in your hypothetical situation could access and work through the material.
So like a flipped classroom environment?
Yes. So,
which is actually how the schools all operate. They all have OneNote or different variations of their own internet system. And that's where the teachers upload all their lessons and their resources and their videos and their homework. Okay. So we are to use Moodle to do that. That's what you've just shown me now on that shared screen. Okay.
Yeah, and I will get that up in the next day or so. If it's not there by Friday, can you please scream at me? It should be.
Remind Jim.
Yes, if it's not there by Friday, please. So So basically, I think the most important document isn't what it says on the Moodle topic 2, but it's more the PDF, which is the interactive teaching module, group and individual thing, which I'm now resharing to show what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So this document here, the first bit is simply what the question was. I think the learning outcomes are really good starting point. Synthesize a detailed understanding of student learning theory content, direct teaching strategies within the Australian curriculum or relevant syllabus, including awareness of Australian blah, blah, blah. So don't take that word for word, but by intent. So that's talking about inclusivity. It's talking about connecting to syllabus curriculum. And the second one is argue a case for development of learning and teaching framework from incorporating strategies and opportunities from 21st century learning, Christian learning and theory. So here, what we've just been talking about, putting into practice the online flipped classroom, etc. So they're the outcomes that we're seeking to address in this exercise.
Okay.
So this is the new assignment as of April this year, and I've rewritten it, and probably what I need to do is have the courage to remove any reference to the old, which is therefore sitting as confusing. So create an interactive teaching module for group and individual, comprising the equivalent of 5 lessons with the stage and focus selected from years 7 to 12, from any of that you wish to go for. In creating this teaching model, apply your understanding of student learning theory, content, and direct teaching strategies, ICT, blah, blah, blah. Right, and then the key thing is going to be your reflection on the process that you've done. So don't feel you have to have an interactive teaching module that is all singing, all dancing, and you can mark it for $50,000. It's really got to be only skeletal. It does not have to be, fleshed out. I'm more interested in you wrestling with the challenges that it's given you and the challenges you hope it's going to give your students, equivalent to 5 lessons. That's all. It's not it's supposed to be a longer piece than that. How do I press mute? I pressed something. Yeah, so do you get my drift?
I do. So can I just clarify?
Yes.
In addition to the resources that we will upload to the new Moodle page you're going to create, we also upload our 5 lesson plans to that, or however we decide we want to do it.
Yeah, that particular student did it that way. I'm not advocating that.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, what shall I do? I shall take you here, and you see, one of the things I've got to ensure that you people can do is I'm going to turn on editing, and you're going to have to be given the teacher status for this course because you're going to be setting up the Moodle page as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So now the screen's changed a bit, and there's all sorts of stuff that you otherwise wouldn't have seen.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, supposing we were in this window, you've now got add a resource. So you can add a book, a file, a folder, a IMS content package, a label, a page, a URL. So, and depending upon what you do there, it then opens up a new window, and you put stuff into that and you give parameters to it, blah, blah, blah. And if going back to the page, add an activity. This will be what you're mainly doing. So under adding activity, you can add an assignment, you can add feedback tool, you can add all sorts of quiz, lesson. You can add a wiki. So you might add a lesson and then work through how to add a lesson to a Moodle page. You with me?
Yeah, that's fantastic, because I've got no idea how to do that. So that's a really good.
So you've got all these options,
yeah,
to populate your window, and I'll give you one window which will have your name on. Yep. And each of you now. The question says group work. I mean, if you wanted to work in a pair with somebody else, that's, I guess, I wouldn't mind. If you want to,
is there anyone doing geography?
Yes. I'll tell you. I think so. Which one are you doing? CRS.
I've done CRS 412, and now I'm doing 512.
No, you're on your own with 512.
Okay. Okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I just wondered.
Mary, you're with CRS 403 with Tulsi.
As in English. Okay.
Now, I haven't heard from Tulsi. Hello, Tulsi. I haven't heard from Tulsi for a long time. So okay. She may, and I'm looking at another subject here, which has got Taylor and Kristen in together, and they're both Sydney-based, and they may want to work together. I could imagine they would.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'll stick with geography.
Except, if I've not much mistaken, you're down with Kalichi on 532.
532. Oh, studies of religion. Yes, I think Kalichi, you've mentioned that he's on that subject. Yep.
So there's a thought. If it's going to work, you've both got to make it work.
Yeah.
If it's one way, forget it. You've got to be assured that it's going to be a two-way street.
Okay.
And in which case, you'll each have a window on that new page. So how you cut it is, I mean, we can, if you decide you would really want to do a total joint one, then we will make one of them a joint one.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll leave that with you to reflect on that.
Okay, thank you.
So, anything else on that assignment you want to ask?
Yes, I would like to, please. So, the assignment also calls for a short reflection for you to write up a short reflection on your creative experience.
Yeah.
How do we submit that? Do we submit that by way of the turn it in button, which would be on the Moodle page that I'm looking at now, not the new one you're going to create?
Correct.
Right.
So
okay.
By the 5th of November, you've got the interactive teaching module, turn it in button there, and you can submit stuff there as normal.
Okay. And so we'll submit everything else on the new Moodle page you're going to create, and then write it up there. Okay. I just want to quickly read through your response to me on the forum that you wrote to just make sure that there's nothing else I wanted to clarify. Your forum response said, yes, the 5 lesson plans are for you to develop and naturally use when you get a chance. So choose one of your CRS subjects, that's fine. And your next one said, I'm imagining that you as the MTS student will develop an interactive teaching module. Okay, and so that's what you mean by interactive teaching module. You mean the new one that you're going to give us access to. That's fine. Perfect, I understand. Okay, great. Thank you, Jim. And then the other assignments, that unit of work is pretty straightforward. We've done that in another subject. The only, and then the first one, assignment 1, is, okay, yep, that's fine. I'm happy with those assignments. Thanks, Jim.
Amazing.
Clear as crystal.
Wonderful. I look forward to it so much.
Thanks, Jim.
So I'll stop recording.
Okay.